Right, thank you for staying with us right here at KUTV. This is the last bit of this particular show. The whole segment of the sports review will be getting into some local and international review. Obviously, joining me for that particular review and helping us to discuss matters local and international. Evans Auma. Evans, with the happy holidays. Is it add all other?
Yeah.
Right. Mbuzi, you'll tell us about hiyo mbuzi yenye unachinja baadaye. And obviously the guy with the two English names, Kevin Benson. Kevin Benson, baridi nakupelekaje?
It's very cold in Nairobi, lakini kazi lazima.
Kazi lazima, and we'll definitely be joined by George Gishungo later on. As you get him via Zoom, he'll be telling us where he is. Gentlemen, it has been quite an interesting week. Some of very own sportsmen and women making us proud, and your very own, by the way, your good friend Angela Kutoi. Tell us what she's doing in the United Kingdom.
Well, Angela Kutoi is making us proud. Tournament in, tournament out. Remember the Australia Open, and now it's Wimbledon. So her stars is keep on rising every tournament, and that is a good start for a star of Okutoi's caliber. And that is actually, she's a motivation to many upcoming tennis stars in the country to keep on even working hard, knowing that circumstances, or rather your where you come from, rather your country of origin, cannot define your future. You can change to rewrite your story, and that is one lesson that you're learning. And if you look at that particular tournament, or rather the journey until she reaches the final, when you see they had to come down from 2-0 defeat to at least rally back their support until they overcome their opponent to book their place in the finals. And that shows the spirit that they had to put up, her and her compatriot Maria from Netherlands. So that is a good start, and we do hope that she will carry Kenyan flag in the finals. That is happening. It's just a couple of hours.
Actually, I think it's happening right now.
It's a few minutes too.
Oh, okay.
To the actual tournament. So
I remember
you're watching.
I remember you're telling me that you were chatting with her. You're chatting with her, before you actually went on air, and slowly relax, until some 2 hours, 30 minutes. If I'll really make you guys proud. But then we're really proud of her. I feel like, Benson, we should look for a road and name after Angela Kutoi Road.
Yeah, being very young, and you can see the passion, and her career is being decorated right now. And remember, this is not a sport that many have invested in, more so in the country. Kenyans of football, Kenyans of athletics. So when she now makes us proud, and even I saw your Twitter update and your WhatsApp status saying a road should be named after her.
It should be. That probably in somewhere in Kisii.
That means you're very proud of her. Everyone is applauding her efforts, and really we just wish her all the best.
Indeed, and congratulations to her, and really hope that even when she finishes, Evans.
And by the way, you have forgotten a very important point. Actually, she's the first Kenyan.
She is the first. By the way, yes,
to reach the final. The kind of status that she's putting our country on. She's putting Kenya on the map. And I know, if they continue to invest in youngsters, I believe maybe in the coming future we'll be seeing probably five Angela Kutois, because when you look at her journey from the time she realized she has a career in tennis, what actually they did was to take her through academy, and the role of academy in nurturing young talent, and her story is such an inspiration to many others. And I believe even the federation, Kenya Tennis Federation, and of course the entire NOC Federation, if really they have seen what Angela is doing, then this is a wake-up call for them to invest even in young stars, and why not come up with leagues, tennis leagues, and improve even the already existing infrastructures to build at least, let's say, even if we have public one, let's say even 47 in each county.
In each county.
That will be a good one for a start.
Indeed. And I also feel like this is also a clarion call for corporates out there to actually see, you know, one of our very own. I mean, imagine if Angela Kutwe was there and she was, you know, wearing probably even, you know, a hat that has, you know, maybe a corporate's name.
Maybe KUTV.
Maybe even KUTV. Definitely talk to probably even Kenyatta University.
Yeah.
Or, but then, you know, even the kind of big corporates that are out there, this is a clarion call to them to, you know, look for them and even invest in them. Gentlemen, let's, you know, shift gears to other sportsmen who are making us proud out there. All the way in southern France, the Kenya Simbas. Even to remember when we were discussing, you know, before they actually traveled, you know, remember even also Benson, I was skeptical that Kenya Simbas wouldn't really make it. And I was reflecting this on the performance of the Sevens, you know, the Lions in Chadondo, in Uganda. And I was really, before even they met Uganda, I was seeing maybe another defeat here, but then they came in, they beat Uganda, then, you know, this past week they also, you know, thrashed Algeria. They'll be meeting Namibia, gentlemen.
Well, the only mistake you made that day, you compare Kenya Simbas and Shujas. You know, for Shujas, that one was, you know, we'll say a bad luck, but if you compare Kenya and Uganda in terms of rugby, actually we are ahead than our rivals, of course, and our neighbors.
In
so,
both sevens and 15s?
Yeah. And if you look at the kind of preparation that Paul Odera and his team were doing, then I was confident that they will proceed until to the final. However, there is, however, a point of concern, and you know, Namibia, out of 12 outings from 1993 until now, Kenya have only won one game, and that should call for, you know, some worrying concern. And to be honest, if I were to be honest with you, proceeding past Namibia, it will be, you know, first of all, it will be a dream and an uphill task for our team. But you know, this is just a normal game, and we hope with the kind of preparation. Of course, we have seen the likes of Colin Sinjera in the team. We have John Kubi, and I believe like with those kind of players and with their experience and caliber, probably they might shock us, you know, tomorrow. But let's pray. You know, Kenya will be eyeing to qualify for the first time. We have never, you know, come close to that. However, in most cases we have played against Namibia, it has always been, you know, the one who qualifies is the one who carries the ticket. And just as statistics put it, and even history as it can tell, we have been, you know, at an advantage position. But we do hope and pray that come tomorrow, Kenya will be flying that ticket. I mean, Simbas, they will roar past Namibians and they will carry that ticket, and at least for the first time ever, will write history that Kenya actually has qualified for the World Rugby Cup. That's my prayer, and we do hope whoever is watching, Colin Sinjera, you know, John Kobe, we are depending on you right now, and we know like you will make us proud. This is a special call and request for the entire team and even the technical bench. Our eyes, thoughts, and prayers are with you guys. Make us proud.
The last time we had Ivan talk that passionately, he was talking about Chelsea. Benson, Namibia, the last time 13 times in 13 meetings rather. We have Kenya's beaten Namibia twice, even once. The first encounter was 1993. Kenya Simbas shocked giants Namibia 29-22 in their opening duel of the Africa Gold Cup CAM, while Africa qualified in 2014 at Municipal Stadium in Antananarivo, that is Madagascar. Then the Simbas will go on to beat the home team 34-0 and only need a point from the last match against Zimbabwe on July 6th to write history and qualify for the World Cup. When you look at these particular statistics, should we get into this, team mentally prepared for what, basically?
I think in as much as the team might be having challenges, the team has been having challenges in the recent past. But if you are to maybe base your argument on how they played even against Uganda, and in as much as history matters, by the way, history matters even in football, in rugby. Kenya, I think, is a country that has invested a lot in rugby. talk of all the sevens, all the outings that really the country takes. Talk of even banking agencies investing in rugby. So now when the battle is being thrown out to the team, them qualifying will mean a lot. And I think we are in a position to beat Namibia. I think so. Mentally, the team should just be prepared, because Evans has mentioned something about the likes of Injera. They are bringing experience. They have been there before. They have competed. So going out there, talk of the technical team. Are they being given enough support? Maybe are you investing in them?
And now, I wanted now to focus on that particular point of investments. Before they actually went, they were sponsored as 10 million by Data Lodge. I personally feel like these particular boys are there playing. There's rugby, and they know 10 million. We have 10 million in the bank account. So they're playing, they're playing nicely. If I can go back to the sevens, gentlemen, sevens didn't have much of that particular, sponsorship. So even playing there, they're really worried about the financial, statuses and all that. Does this particular sponsorship, how much effect does it have on, how they're playing right now?
Well, sponsorship is enticement. But I think it will be harsh, to compare Kenya Simba's performance and that of Shuja's, because of one thing. Kenya Simba, they're playing against, African countries, because this is a qualifier. But when you look at Shuja's, they're coming against the best of the best in the world. You're talking about the likes of Fiji, New Zealand, England, talk about Germany. These are the best teams. In terms of rugby, they have invested. If you compare two, it's a battle between the underdogs and the masters of the game. So for them, right now things are not working in their favor, but they do have sponsors. There is a corporate like Kenya Airways, sometimes they do sponsor them, but it's just an issue more of bad luck than, the real actual sense of performance. Yeah.
Right, and there was a particular comment that I saw yesterday. Why this particular Africa, Rugby Cup being played out of our continent, basically?
Because of infrastructure. Yeah, but that's the only thing. As Africans, we are very at a disadvantage because we have not really invested in. We have invested in rugby, but infrastructures, capacity building matters a lot. If you want to hold any competitive action, like let's say World Cup qualifiers, and you have maybe a total of maybe 28 or even 16 teams participating, you need to have facilities. And if you were to be honest with you guys, I don't think if Kenya or any other country in Africa, maybe probably South Africa being an exceptional, can be able to host such kind of event because of infrastructure.
Let's also even look at some of the videos of Kenya playing against Algeria, and we look at that particular stadium also. But then even as we continue, probably, for example, if this particular cup was played in an African continent, let's say for example maybe Namibia, Uganda, the kind of impact that it will have had, based on the fact that the advantage of the fans also.
Yeah.
Will it have really helped?
I think it would have helped, but then you're looking at a stadium that cannot even host a final. Talk of a country like Kenya, how many teams can come here and play a final, say even a Rugby World Cup final? I don't think it will be something nice to really, it's like you're printing a bad image of your country or other African countries. But you're looking at countries like South Africa, countries that have invested very well. These are countries that have even hosted you remember the 2010 World Cup. So a country like that can really host any event. But then the effect that we will say, the fans being there, most of the local fans being there, it will be something that it will be a good move. It will be a big move. The players will play with confidence. They'll also play knowing that at least they have the support of the fans. But the fans still support their teams. That's why many of us will still stream the games. So I really think in whatever capacity the games will be played, or in whatever country they will be played, we'll still be supporting our teams, because we have to be loyal as fans. Yeah.
Indeed. And now let's talk about, for example, if they win, and I really hope that, they actually beat Namibia tomorrow. They'll be facing, and, they'll be grouped in Pool A, the 2023, as Africa 1 alongside France, New Zealand, Italy, and Uruguay. Should we be concerned about that?
Definitely we should. They're the best teams, but at least even if we exit the competition even in group stages, but at least we are very proud because as they wear that Kenyan jersey, we know that they made us proud. They made history, and that's what matters the most. And by the virtue of participating, that is a plus for us. You live to fight another day, but you have really given your best, and that's what counts at the end of the day.
Right, now let's talk about, still on matters rugby, gentlemen, the Prinsloo Sevens. The Prinsloo, we started off with the Kabeberi Sevens, then all the way to Christie. Yeah, it was the Christie Sevens right in Nairobi. Then we went all the way to Mombasa for the Driftwood Sevens. Then we actually didn't go.
Dallas.
We actually didn't go for the fish as we had But then right now it's in Nakuru.
Yeah.
The Prinsloo Sevens today and tomorrow. So far the whole 4 legs. What have you picked up from this particular 4 legs, Benson?
You are looking at a competition that is really being graced by a lot of very good teams. Talk of the Oilers, they will be there. Are you talking of teams like KCB? They will still be there. Other teams like Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology will also be there participating. And I think this event has really attracted many people. There is some 2 million that was funded for that particular event. And I think so far, because they said that the major event, or rather the men's, the senior team, they will be playing, I think it is tomorrow or on Sunday. Yeah. So these are the games that many people will want to watch. Because if you are looking at this Prinsloo Sevens, since it was inaugurated in, I think, around 2007, teams that have been there winning are the likes of KCB, Nakuru Homeboys, talk of Strathmore. So these are teams that really, you remember even on the Christie Sevens, it was a very good outing. And I think the team that I will be wanting to watch again, it will be the Oilers.
Me too. When we actually started, when we actually look at this particular circuit, it has been one interesting one. Kabeberi Sevens was owned by the Bankers, who, Bankers are leading right now. We'll be taking you through the standings later on. The Bankers took the Kabeberi Sevens, and then they're actually the defending champions for this particular circuit. Then the students from the Strathmore Leos bagged the Christie Sevens, and then Mwamba beat Oilers again to beat the Driftwood Sevens, and then the Homeboys, the DJs, won the Dallas Sevens. So Evans, Oilers, do you think they might probably take again? Obviously, Oilers are they're playing around the home ground, that turf. So will this be an advantage for them?
Well, I think they have come close to winning twice.
Yes.
And probably this might be their season. But one thing that is very interesting about this circuit is the fact that there is no one team that can say can claim dominance. Every team is winning, and every team is giving, or rather trying its best to make sure it gets the crown. So that is the most interesting thing. However, owing to the competitive nature of the game, and Oilers will have to, really pull their socks, because it will not be a walk in the park. Everybody is watching, and every team wants to win. So for me, I don't think if it will be, easy for them, in as much as you guys are rooting for the Oilers. But this time, every team wants it. KCB, they still want it. They were very angry about it, and they're bitter, and they want to revenge, actually.
You as Evans, who are you rooting for?
For me, I can even root for Black Blood.
Indeed, and actually want to have a major discussion about that. But then before that, I want us to take a look at the pool pairings for this particular sevens. Let us start with the Pool A. Pool A is one quite Homeboys. Homeboys are will be playing against Catholic Monks, and then Cabras Sugar and Western Bulls. Maybe this is I feel like this is an easy pool for Homeboys, the DJs. Then the Pool B. This is where the Oilers really have to, put a lot of effort there. Menengai Oilers, and then Masinde Muliro, then Nakuru, the host Nakuru, and Kisumu. Pool C. Pool C is one interesting one. KCB, Nondescripts, Impala, Kenya Harlequins. Those are 4 big teams. And then Pool D, Strathmore Leos, Momba, Black Blood, and Vihiga Granites. So your particular team, this Black Blood. When you look at teams like Black Blood, there's also Mean Machine is also in this particular I think it's Division 2 there. But then when you look at these two particular teams, there was a time when I remember back in the day when I used to play rugby, and we would say I'd want to join either Black Blood or Mean Machine, because they were the kingpins at that time. Right now, when you look at Black Blood, they're at the top, at the bottom of that particular pairing stable, the standing stable. What happened to these teams?
Well, I guess every day rugby keep on improving, and you need to live up by the standard of the game. So for me, it's also much more of an investment than just filling in players. And what they need to do is to invest in players and to take rugby very serious.
Benson, when you look at these two particular clubs that I've mentioned, Mean Machine is from the University of Nairobi, and then Black Blood is from Kenyatta University. Even just talking about here, matters about investing. Well, do we say public institutions generally haven't really, tapped into investing in matters sports?
Yeah, that will be very correct to say, because look at the teams like Oilers, look at the teams like Nakuru Top Prime. These are teams that really people have tapped in and they've invested there. They have, their financial situation is not like you will compare these other teams that are still, let's say, upcoming. He has mentioned something about rugby changing. It's true, because we have a very young, energetic players coming to the into the game, and then you're looking at teams looking for really good players. So when you mention something about Blackbird, you mentioned something about Masinde Muliro, then you cannot compare them to the level you expect a team like the Oilers really and the Bankers to play at the same level. And I think also they have that motivation, these big teams like KCB, that I will say it's not there so much in the team like these teams from the universities. So I really think institutions have not yet try to tap in and help their teams. And
like now, despite the fact that Strathmore Leos is a private institution, so obviously the investment there is big. But then let's talk about, because of time, away from matters rugby, let's talk about some state of Kenyan football. There was some watu wanatolewa soko, wengine wanajaribu kurudi. Bernard Molala, do you think personally, Benson, that it was fair for Kakamega Homeboys to axe Bernard Molala? When you look at his track record, he has done great. He was in Bandari, he did some amazing works. When you look at just the concluded season, I think they finished number 3. Then Gor Mahia came in number 4. He left Bandari one team that actually performs well, and he came into Kakamega Homeboys. They were technically number 1, despite the whole goal difference on matters that. But then, do you think it was fair for them to axe Bernard Molala?
I don't think it was fair, because Molala has been having a decorated career as a coach. You look at him helping Bandari to finish second behind Gor Mahia between a period of 2018 to 2020. Then look at him helping the team. They were about to clinch the title. But last season the FKF Premier League was very troubled. We had other teams even not coming to matches. And so I really think it was unfair for him, because you look at how he has helped the team. They were playing very well, and the problem is that they have sacked even the entire technical bench.
Apart from the coach, goalkeeper.
Yeah, only he's the only one who is left there. So I don't know what the issue could have been, but reports by goal.com stated that it was due to discipline issues. They released a statement, and they said that in as much as they want a result, then they are thinking of discipline, and it has been an issue that it has been there in the club. That's what they said. So I really think it was not fair, because he had an outstanding career there as a coach. So we just want to wait and see where he will be next. Yeah.
Right. Even when you look at the growth of Homeboys right now, even the chairman of Kakamega Homeboys is saying he's receiving CVs from continental coaches, and unlike before. And so right now, when you look at Homeboys, it's like it's at par with Gor Mahia, FC Leopards, Tusker, the kind of growth that Kakamega Homeboys has had. When they ask the technical bench, will they actually be able to tap into and look for the quality kind of technical bench that will really put the same effort in the next season?
Well, one of the consideration was, and according to the statement, they wanted to, they were very clear. They said they will even consider foreign coaches. And that shows the seriousness that this team, is giving in. And for me, if I were to look at the two sides of the coin, of course, in one hand, Bernard Malala has been sacked, and his technical bench sent packing. And if you want to, be at the top of any, competitive football, then you need the best and qualities. You need commitment. And I think football is an investment. That is one thing that people must remember. Football is an investment. There is people who are investing in that particular club. There is sponsors. Everything is at stake. You are leading with 11 points. Then all over the sudden, like the gap was reduced, and now you had to compete on goal difference. Now you see, as a director, as a chairman of any club, you should be worried. And we have seen even in the England, even in Europe,
so you
coaches
actually,
being sacked because of that simple reason.
You actually support that Molala should have been removed? For
me, I think it's logic thing. If you want quality, then you should demand for nothing less than the best. Even
so, there's a time here you're talking to us and preaching us about patience.
Patient, yes, I can tell you that. But there is something that you have seen it, and this is yours. Actually, I remember that time I said Kakamega is flying, Kakamega Homeboys is flying with the league. Who can catch them? Well, how wrong I was. Tusker, actually, they really fried.
But then, I mean, technically, we're not talking about a Kakamega Homeboys that, dropped from number 1 and all the way to number 10. We're talking about, as much as, they at least dropped. Even I mean, Tusker didn't really, I mean, you guys, Benson, you didn't really start the season quite as much. But then we're not seeing your coach being asked, because you know what, we actually can see this particular when you started the first 10 games, you guys didn't really perform well. So coach, I'm sorry, but then you have to go.
I think by the time the match week was about to be over, the match week 20 something, we really could say that Tusker cannot even win the league. There was no one to challenge for the league. We could have said that. Then all of a sudden something just happened. I don't know how. They lost the game, drew, then got beaten. So I think also the morale of the players, it's like they felt, so we are losing this thing. So I think it caught up with them. But I really don't think firing the coach was a good idea, because I'm looking at a team like Tusker. Tusker winning the league, we could say they deserved, but the ones who deserved are winning the league.
It's Kakamega Homeboys.
It's Kakamega Homeboys. Yeah.
What happened?
Things happen, Evans.
Now you see,
even in a relationship,
those things.
Even in a relationship, things happen, Evans.
Those things.
So
for any serious team, there is no room for error, and you know that. We have seen it happen in many clubs.
Have you sacked your Chelsea coach?
Well, Chelsea is a club with history. If you're not performing, then you will be sent packing. That's normal, because football is an investment, and people want to see the reward for their money. The more you are winning, the more you attract, investors, sponsors. You attract even quality players.
Well,
and I think you should not settle for anything less than the best. So for me, I think it was a noble move. If Malala was the only one sacked, then probably that would have been a different conversation. But the entire technical bench sent packing, then that tells you like there is some seriousness in that club. Really.
Right.
We should look, both sides of the story. It's two sides of the coin.
Right. We'll definitely, try to get to the whole, bit of the story and update you. As we also conclude this whole Kakamega, fracas, Brazilian Leo Neiva, who has massive experience in African football, having coached Yanga SC of Tanzania and Sudanese heavyweights Al Marek, has also sent his CV. So maybe, and also local tacticians Hesbon Nyabinge, Leonard Suale, and former Harambee Stars defender Akwana are also interested in that particular position.
Everybody wants the team.
Yes, everybody wants Molala's job. So maybe Kakamega Homeboys, Tusker, maybe next time.
They're the honey.
Maybe actually, I was seeing some comments and they're saying maybe it was for the better. Molala was sacrificed so that Kakamega Homeboys can actually perform. But then it still matters, football, local football. Go to German Andres Peer, the coach for Kogalo, has left. Right now, that particular team is, being run by Michael Nam as the interim coach. Evans, are we expected to see another, quote unquote, another white face being sicked for?
Well, God always goes for quality. Mm-hmm. That is number one. And for me, I think probably the next coach will, take the mantle. So probably might be a foreigner. Maybe local being given a chance. Maybe it might take time. But for God, we should expect for a foreigner. Even the one that is leaving, I don't think if he has really lived up to the expectation.
So basically, Benson, will you say Andres Peer, giving him on a scale of 1 to 10, that what kind of scorecard will you give him that he left?
Average, because has he been there for 6 months? I think a period of only 6 months. But I
think he joined February.
Yeah.
You are looking at a team like Gor Mahia. That's a team that has history, and we have always associated Gor with performing. They've been performing very well. There are times when we knew only Gor will win the league, and I also think Gor have lived up to the standards in the past because they've tried to participate in the continent, other continental matches. So I think they always try to go for the best. And you look at them now saying that you are saying that they might bring another white face there. I think also people think that when you have a white coach, then you tend to do better.
Actually, now for me, that's now my major issue here. Mm-hmm. Is it because, what's really this about? Because when Bandari, did some amazing stuff, mm-hmm. and they had a local coach. Evans, why would we really want to search for foreigners? And is it really helping? If we had a foreign coach, at least we would have said that, we had a foreign coach. He came from the experience for all the way coaching Italy, maybe out there, and now he's brought in the country. And look, we are number 2, or maybe we're number 1.
For me, I don't think if color, race matters. Mm-hmm. What matters is what you are able to bring on the table. Every team wants a very quality coach, and that's why many will go even overboard to bring the best coach. So for me, I don't think if it's something of an issue, because as long as you want to and you demand quality from any kind of player, then that is the only thing you can do. So it doesn't really matter whether you are white, black, they can bring even a coach from Uganda and mm-hmm. he can do wonders.
Right.
Performance is what matters at the end of the day.
Right, and I'm being told that we have George Gishungwa with us. George, if you can hear me, good afternoon. George, right, well, we'll definitely get to George later on, but then I'd really love to get to start the whole matters, the whole transfer rumors. Remember, a question of the day to you was: do you support Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7, or again the GOAT, joining Chelsea? Evans, I'll give you this particular platform to air out what you have been this whole week, and seeing all those the graphics of Cristiano Ronaldo there and the Neymar.
Okay. Well, even before I, touch on the whole issue of transfer, there is rather some very interesting aspect that you have left out about our Kenya Morans.
Ah, yes.
What happened, as Kenyans, in as much as we are happy, FIBA came in, they chipped in and really, boost and gave at least our team the support that it needs. Then even on our end, we really need to ask ourselves very hard questions about our commitment to, supporting our local teams, and what really we need to have a conversation about, the way forward. What does the future hold for such kind of teams going forward? So for me, you know, losing against DRC Congo, actually we gave them a walkover. Then you know, falling to Egyptians, and finally Senegal, you know, thrashing us like we are small boys. You know, it should really call for, you know, concern. And right now we are out, and we live to fight for another day. But I think it's a discussion that we should really, you know, have it sooner rather than later.
Right.
Yeah.
They've the whole federations. Who basically, Benson, will you say is to blame for this?
You will still blame corruption in Kenya, because you remember Mwendo's case, even being arrested again. You remember Mwendo's case being arrested again, and the reports are that even Mwendo, the amount of money that he really corrupted, or rather took away from the federation, is a lot of money. So you look at that money, you look at that money, you look at that money that could have tapped in and helped somewhere else. Because if you're in charge of the sports ministry, if you cannot give whoever is representing the country good motivation, their salaries on time, then even the motivation to play on the side of the players, it becomes something difficult. Because players will go to work during the day, and then in the evening they're expected to play a match. Mm-hmm. You don't expect that player to perform to the standards of someone who is playing abroad, or even someone who's playing for Yanga and he's training, he's fit, he's okay. His performance will definitely be low.
Right. Yeah. George Gishunga, hope we do have you now. How you feel, if you can hear me?
Mambo vipi? Niko fresh kabisa, sijui kama unanisikia vizuri this time.
Right, and there we have you, George. We are discussing about this whole fracas of the federations, and obviously Nick Mwendwa being in there. Nick is going to really see a long weekend, I'm telling you. From where you sit, where do you really see this whole matters? Should we stop Kenyan football just because of a few crooks here and there, because they misappropriated funds? Should we stop Kenyan football just because of that?
I think you should just allow me to mention a little bit of what happened to Kakamega Homeboys.
Yes, please.
I think Stanley, it is very unfortunate. Huku umeongoza with more than 13 points, then number 2 anakuja anakuover up na anaongoza ligi. That was so bad. I actually felt that these people should just leave the team and go away, because how do you lose such a chance? I thought there was kind of a match fixing, because I don't understand how you can leave a point with 13 points and then the same team inakuja inakutoa hapo. That was very bad. They did their best, but wakifika pale kwa mwisho wa ligi wakafanya vitu zao za kijinga hapo, and they lost the league. I think that was very poor for the team. I think they should just leave the squad. I was happy with the decision. Molala wacha kwanza apumzike kidogo, labda tu aone kama kuna mtu atakuja achukue nafasi yake, maybe anaweza akatengeneza ligi tena. Maybe they can win next season. For Nick,
Before you actually answer that briefly, few seconds, will Kenya Police, your favorite team, will they accept Molala?
No. Why? We have Samia Molo Pamzo. We have Pamzo now. We don't need them.
All right, let's dive into matters. The Nick Mwendwa wars. What do you take on that?
I think when I saw Nick Mwendwa being released, I thought that now it is time now to try and come back again as the Kenya Football Federation. Unfortunately, didn't stand back again, and he had to go back. Amelala pale Kiambu DCI, and I think this is a very long weekend for him. And I thought that the government tried to fix things in another way to ensure that, unajua CAF some days ago wamesema they will be giving 1 million to each and every federation to ensure that annually to ensure that football inaran vizuri kwa all federations. But unfortunately, because us tumebaniwa, we won't receive the amount, because our federation is not yet bado hatujajicompile again to fikirie the way forward. So I thought when Mwando ametolewa pale, I thought federation ingekuja tena back together, akirudi ofisi, we talk with FIFA, and then they try to find a solution on how we should move forward and turudi tena back. So nilikuwa naona Tusker angerudi pale acheze Champions League, Africa Champions League, Vihiga Queens warudi pale wacheze women's Champions League, but now I don't know what next, but I think that this case tunafaa tuachane nayo because we are still losing and we are losing a lot.
Right, and gentlemen, because of time, we have less than 12 minutes to go. Let's dive into some transfer rumors. And Evans, again, I'll give you now this particular opportunity. You as a representative of the Chelsea fans, do you think or do you even support that CR7 to come into Chelsea?
Well, CR7's news of coming to Chelsea might interest many people. But for me, CR7 is too old for Chelsea. Chelsea are trying to build a team based on young players, and actually, the last time I checked, we have really, done some few wonders with, young squad. Remember, we won Champions League with a younger squad, and Cristiano Ronaldo probably might just come to, dismantle the good rhythm that is happening. So for me, I don't think if he will be a fit for Chelsea. Probably he might just go to Sporting Lisbon because right now he has two options. Bayern is X. I don't think if he'll make a return to Real Madrid. Now he has Chelsea or Sporting Lisbon. So for me, the best option for him, and I think because of family status, is a guy who loves his family, and his family is based in Portugal. So probably he might consider, returning home where it all began. So I don't think if Cristiano Ronaldo will bring the much excitement that we expect, in as much as right now people are, celebrating, jitters, some zillions. But for me, I think they should look it in terms of a long-term aspect. Yes, Cristiano Ronaldo is a household name, big player. Really, not the god. We have Messi there. So for me, I think in terms of comparison, it will be unfair to compare the two because I think each of them, they are, brilliant players. They have contributed to the world of sports, and we really appreciate their effort. But the main issue of which right now, I think it's the conversation of Cristiano Ronaldo joining Chelsea. We should not just look, for Cristiano Ronaldo joining Chelsea. We should look at the long term, After he joins, what next? That is the big question.
George Gishungo, from where you sit, do you support, or do you think CR7 should go all the way to Chelsea, dump his Manchester United jersey, and take up Chelsea jersey? But Cristiano Ronaldo was left out from the squad that is going to traveling for the preseason games. George, do you support CR7's move, or maybe a rumor move to go to Chelsea?
But I think this guy, amezeeka, his age, he's 37, almost 38 now, and EPL is very hard, for these old gents there. That's why it was so hard for Lukaku, and if you look at now next season, just look at the signings that have been done by other clubs, you can feel that clubs are trying to bring up new talents. That's the likes of Haaland, Manchester City, the likes of Liverpool signing in Nunes. These are young lads. Manchester United trying to bring up the likes of Anthony. Because Liverpool now will be just youngsters dominated. It will be dominated by youngsters. Now it's time for them to leave these senior clubs. EPL is so hard, and it. So I don't think it will be it will be a good move for him signing for Chelsea. I think he should just move either Bayern or Sporting Lisbon. Evans said.
Right, that is two against all that. Benson, what is your take on that?
Ronaldo joining Chelsea should be the worst news I would expect to hear. Because you say when he came at Manchester United, many people expected him to really perform. Okay, he has performed. He stood out when it mattered at least.
But then he didn't perform as much as we had expected.
Yeah, the team actually never performed as much as we expected. The whole team, not Ronaldo, because even in the Champions League, he tried getting some goals. In as much as you've mentioned something about age, I think his career has been decorated. That's why between him and Messi, I just don't choose. I appreciate all of them. They made us very happy. So I don't think Ronaldo should go to Chelsea, even if he's being linked with the rumor reports there. Chelsea, we have seen them. Ziyech has left the club, joining AC Milan, I think, and Lukaku has left. So maybe Chelsea should look for another person, but not Ronaldo.
Right.
It will be betraying the city.
Right. Final words as we conclude matches, transfers. Paul Pogba, joined Juventus yesterday. I feel like we should really have one of those videos of him getting into out of the plane and all that as we conclude.
Well, for me, actually, I'm really worried about Manchester United. The kind of exodus that you're seeing right now, I can only, this is a recipe for disaster. Next season, it will be goal in, goal in, goal in. I'm so sorry for you guys. And, for Cristiano, I really hope, he find his way out of Manchester as soon as possible.
Right. George Gishungo, 45 seconds. Final words as we conclude.
Let me mention something to do with Manchester United and then the other one to do with Juventus. For Manchester United, we are not in a bad position. I can say now, Cristiano Ronaldo was actually, alikuwa na wafunika ama jamaa, our strikers, the likes of akina Jadon Sancho, the likes of akina Rashford. We expect Greenwood anytime soon. So I think Manchester United is still in a better position. The only thing that we need, we just have to sign that central midfielder, we need that creativity of Paul Pogba. That's the one that we are missing for now. I think once we try, we come up with a new talent, a good midfielder, then we'll be in a good position to move forward. Then for Juventus, I think tunangoja Simba sasa for Juventus, because they have very quality players, the likes of Akina Locatelli. They have now Paul Pogba, your midfield, like you can imagine. They have, Dusan Vlahovic, they have Zakaria. So I think the Juventus that we are expecting in the next Champions League will be very dangerous. I think Juventus ndo inatesa sasa. Maybe Bayern somehow, if Lewandowski stays, and maybe now vile wamesign Mane for Real Madrid as usual. But I think La Liga itakuwa na a lot of competition. Same with Syria, Juventus, Inter Milan and AC Milan, because Inter Milan, they have resigned now Lukaku. AC Milan, they have the likes of Origi. So I expect a lot next season to enjoy football.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Indeed, and Benson, as your final words, I was actually looking at Tottenham Hotspur has done the big stuff, a lot of signings here and there. Really saying creating your fantasy football team. We're really waiting actually for August. What the viewers really have to say about that, the kind of FPL teams that they have created. Your final words as you conclude.
I think the football world is a beautiful world because of Manchester United. So our critics, maybe Ten Hag will be bringing a good tactics there. Ours is just to wait and see. The other teams, we will watch them, of course, and I know the Champions League will be competitive. Talk of Fantasy Premier League. If you managed last season to get above 1,800 points, then you're a legend. Till next time, Kelvin Benson.
Right. Evans, your social media handles as we wrap this up.
ST_Ted, that's my social media handles. But I really pity you guys, and it's a discussion that we'll have soon. I'll be here, and of course I'll be, when they bury you completely, because you have quality teams. They forgot to mention Manchester City.
Indeed.
The kind of qualities signing that they are doing, that will be a dangerous team.
I'd personally say as we conclude, let's just wait and see, as Benson has said. Maybe Ten Hag has his own plans lined up. Maybe he decided that I'm not really signing up, and just really want to build up this particular academy that we have and work on that. But anyway, that is all the time that we had for you. Thank you for making your time our time. Remember this particular weather, stay warm. My name is Stanley Nyeringita, and on behalf of the production crew that made this possible, have yourself a beautiful and gorgeous afternoon, and happy holidays to all our Muslim brothers and sisters.